with Joanna Tam and LHS students.
This project is about an object that shows home to you.
It was a really interesting process. I enjoyed it a lot. I went through my house just looking for an object that represented my home. When I found the Bible, my picture was a Bible. It really connected me with that theme of home and my house and my family in general. So yeah, I thought that was just the perfect object for me to take a picture of.
The process was different because I said that Lawrence is not, the objects are not home for me, it's the people. And it was difficult to take a picture because the requirement was that I don't take a picture of a person, so take a picture of my shoes. And I said, basically, whenever like you're wearing your shoes, you just take paths and you meet new people and you're always just constantly feeling comfortable around them. And that's Lawrence for me, that's home.
I also took the approach of taking a Bible, but my idea was an open Bible to a specific verse that God is your strength, and so I specifically put it there, put it that you can read that verse, and some of them be under it to remind yourself you're not alone.
My inspiration was my grandma because I was born in my grandma's house, so all I saw was them because my parents used to be at work or something like that, and it motivated me into doing a can that I used to open when I was smaller, and instead of cookies, when I opened it, I used to see a lot of random stuff, it goes from nail cutters to menthol and a lot of hair nets, and she used to do a lot of projects with needles and sewing stuff, so that motivated me into doing it.
My inspiration was townhouses because in Lawrence, we're a very heavily populated city, and most of us are Hispanic, and most Hispanic families are very large, and I grew up in a townhouse until recently, and so I decided to take a picture of a townhouse that in a shape that I feel like is most common in Lawrence, and I specifically took it through the lens of a stained glass window that I have in my personal house now, and I think it looks cool because it looks kind of old, and Lawrence is old.
For me, I feel like I didn't really have much inspiration. I just stuck with the moment, and so I kind of just felt it out that I knew that I had to get this and I had to capture this. Mine was a Corona bottle with a cup of ice, and that just speaks home to me because that's when I know that I'm around people that are like me, because Corona is like Dominican to me, because every time I'm surrounded by Dominicans, I see Corona, and so that's why that stuck out to me.
The reason why I decided to do this was that I wanted to do something that's related to Lawrence somehow, and I know Lawrence has a huge immigrant population, and I'm an immigrant myself, so I thought it would be meaningful to do something that is related to immigrants. I'm very fortunate to be one of the people who find a good home, but also recognize that there are a lot of people who are still looking for one, probably in Lawrence, and also all over the world. There are big migrations movement going on, refugees movement going on. So I think it would be meaningful to do something related to home and community. I'm also very inspired by the pictures that they took. So some of them is the first time using a more complicated camera, and I think they all did a good job, and the stories that they told me were so meaningful and touching. Yes, I learned so much from the Brazilians. I mean, they are very inspiring because the first time that I was supposed to meet them was actually 4 days before the gas explosion. So I thought maybe this project has to change a little bit because I know a lot of students get affected, and some students have to evacuate. So I thought maybe a little bit hard and difficult for them to think about home. But at the same time, I also think that home has never been so relevant and so urgent to people in Lawrence. They all wrote me they want to continue on this theme, and then some of them think that home is very related to what has been going on in Lawrence. Also from the conversation that I have with them about home, community, and how to make Lawrence better. And they all said very thoughtful things. I really want people to listen to the voices of young people. I think it's very important, and also want them to realize the power of their voices.
We had a small discussion. It was like a mini interview about our projects and how we felt about the objects we're like using to represent our houses or what felt like home. And there's like in the wall, as you can see, those are all the words like everybody had said.
Don't stereotype us. I said that because a lot of people, when they think of Lawrence, they go straight up and think that we're just bad and that we are people who don't really want to change in life, and that's not true. We are motivated into making a better future, and we are better than when people basically stereotype us. We're not how they think we are.
My words were, Lawrence is my safe place. So I describe Lawrence as my safe place because it's like where I come and where I feel like I'm part of something greater than just myself. We all make a change every day, and how Lady said that like stereotyping, like when people stereotype Lawrence or like Lawrence kids as bad and all of these things without actually knowing us, how hard we try in school to just be on a higher level and show that we are that we're capable than more like what people say that we are.
I just wanted to say thank you to Joanna Tam for providing us with this collaborative experience for our students, the Essex Arts Center for providing us with the collaborative opportunity to work with them, and I also wanted to say thank you to the students. This show is really about them.
I feel like it's more than just an exhibit. I feel like it's a representation of like us as a community. So if you want to see home and what home means displayed here at the Essex Arts Center, we'll be here until December. Our photos will be here. And yeah, it's a good time to just really reflect on what you feel is home, and maybe you could jog back some memories. Thank you.